Well, spring training or whatever you want to call it, I guess we can call it exhibition baseball now that the Cubs are back from Japan, is underway. And the question that we have is this: Gage Workman, is he going to make the Cubs roster or is he going back to the Tigers? I think that's a valid question as the Cubs expect Nico Horner to be ready for the Arizona season, the series, and the start of the real regular season, although the 2 games in Japan did count. We'll talk about that. Seiya Suzuki, underrated breakout star. Is this going to be a big year for him? And then the Blue Jays expecting to sign Vlad Jr. How does that affect the Cubs? We'll talk about all that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you. I know that's a lot to ask of a Cardinals fan, but maybe even a Sox fan. But you guys got me. And let's get this show started. But great to see you guys today. Go Cubs. All right. What do you say, everybody? And thank you for hanging, obviously, on the road. But you're going to get a lot of on-the-road shows during baseball season, so get used to it. But thank you for being here and hanging out, not at the home studio. I'm at Broadcaster Mick, though. That's my X and Facebook and Instagram, all that under at Broadcaster Mick or Mick the Broadcaster, whatever it is. But listen, thank you guys for being here and hanging out. And let's talk some Cubs baseball like we do on a daily basis. Let's start with this. There's so many different things that we could get into, but I want to start with, will the Cubs keep Gage Workman? I don't think that it is a sure thing that Gage Workman is going to be on the Cubs this year. Now, let me recap this because some of you guys are probably like, what do you mean? He's on the team right now. Yeah, he's on the team right now, but he's a Rule 5 draft pick, and it's in the major league side of the Rule 5 draft, which means that for Gage Workman to stay on the Cubs, he has to be on the active roster. He can't be on the 40-man. He's got to be on the 26-man roster. And so, he was obviously there for the 2 games in Japan, or they would have had to send him back. Now, the Cubs take on the Diamondbacks March 27th. Nico Horner's going to be available. So what does that mean? What direction are the Cubs going to go? And this is one for me where I think that, it's more than him just basically being on the plane to Japan. I mean, I feel like that even when Nico Horner comes back, that you're looking at a guy who is batting .424 through spring, with a lot of power, a couple extra base hits, and 13 runs knocked in 38 games. And that's kind of the player that the Cubs hoped when they were picking him that he would be. And he's played shortstop, second base, third, can play in the outfield. He's done it all, kind of as a utility guy, just because the Dodgers, the Tigers have moved him in a bunch of different spots, and he's pretty versatile. But what does that mean? Right now, Nico Horner comes back, what would the move be for the Cubs? Are you going to keep John Birdie? Are you going to keep Brujan? They're kind of the same guy, right? A couple utility guys. You gave up something to get both of those guys, whether it be prospects off the 40-man roster, including Luis Vazquez, or trades with Brujan where you gave up Matt Mervis. So that to me is something that I think you got to keep an eye on. You got Justin Turner, who's 40 on the team, and they like him as someone that can hit, but I don't know. And what my gut feeling is that the direction of this franchise right now is forget about the future. It's time to win right now. And a lot of that is because I feel like the front office is worried that they're not going to have jobs, because they probably won't. So that tells me, if I'm looking at it, that there's a chance that Workman ends up going back to the Tigers. And there's going to be some decisions that are going to have to be made before the Cubs take on the Diamondbacks, because, you got to have a spot for the guys like Birdie and Brujan and Turner. Right. And what's your bench going to look like? So they could be creative and figure out a way for him to get there. But Nico Horner's going to be back, and he's going to be playing second base. And then it's going to be basically, Workman as a utility guy and a backup at third for Shaw, who, is the presumptive third baseman. And then a lot of people, and I didn't want to get into this too much here, but Cam Smith's having a huge spring for Houston. And I'm telling you right now, this whole Kyle Tucker deal could blow up in Jed Hoyer's face. It could come back to be one of the worst deals the Cubs have ever made. And you guys are going, what do you mean? Well, you traded a first-round pick and an all-star third baseman, Cam Smith and Isaac Paredes, and then you basically gave Cody Bellinger to the Yankees for cash, but you sent $5 million, and then you get back Cody Poteet. I mean, come on, man. Like, Turner better be the Turner that we expect him to be. And I think he will be. But I'm just saying, like, if he goes out and has a Dansby Swanson from last year, that front office is in big trouble. I think they are already, but they need him to be kind of like an MVP candidate. And then, basically Cubs ride him right into the postseason. And he did have a double last game. And honestly, I'm not taking shots at Dansby Swanson, and don't take it that way. He's paid $177 million to be the Cubs star player. He actually had a couple hits, one in each series. In each game against the Dodgers. So it was not a bad series for him, but he's got the drive runs in. He's got to be on base. He's got to be doing more than just fielding shortstop. It's, you could go get anybody to field shortstop. You got to be paid that kind of money. You got to hit. And I'm hoping that he does that. Now, another guy that some people are saying could be poised for a big season is Seiya Suzuki. I'm curious, man. Could Seiya Suzuki be in position to have one of those years where you're like, okay, this guy's a star player. Zach Reimer of Bleacher Report talked about him and basically saying that, with Tucker in right field and him DHing, maybe he stays healthy and he puts up big numbers. And I think he brings up a great point. The problem that Suzuki's had is that I think Suzuki was one of the best players in baseball last year before he had that oblique injury on the run. Was it oblique? Where he was running the first base and got hurt, whatever it was. And then he was gone for a while. And when he came back, he just didn't have that same momentum. He does have the ability to be a star player. The Cubs need him to be a star player. And look, the wear and tear on his body shouldn't be there because he's not going to be the right fielder. Now, he may have to play some center. And if the Cubs get creative and they put Workman on the roster, then that may mean that they think Suzuki's going to play center field. And then maybe they get rid of Brujan, I don't know. Look, I can't predict anything with this front office right now. And I feel like the reason why is that the desperation that they have to win this year and save their jobs makes sometimes reason and logic based on like the guys that you've had around and you've kind of, basically you've developed and put money into, and you're just giving them away to other teams. That only makes sense when you're looking at it from the vantage point of we have to win now. And Luis Vasquez is a Gold Glove shortstop, and you guys might see that one day. And just remember me saying that. But some of these guys leave and they don't do anything. I thought that that Nelson Velasquez would be a much better player than he has. So you know what? It doesn't. It's a risk, but it seems like the guy that could burn the Cubs the most is going to be Cam Smith, who's just having a monster spring over in Houston. All right. All the reports now are saying basically, because the Blue Jay CEO, Mark Shapiro, is basically saying that they plan on signing Vlad Guerrero Jr. Now, why is this significant? I mean, this is a Blue Jays thing, right? It's because this guy's been on the Cubs' radar for a while. I mean, there's been a bunch of rumors about him, between $400 and $450 million to get Vlad Jr. He may be kind of like a more economical Kyle Tucker type of deal, because Tucker could get $500 or $600 million. I'm not sure how the economics are going to work out, but I will say this, that Vlad Guerrero Jr. is one of baseball's best players. And it's crazy when you look at the Blue Jays roster that they haven't had more success. But part of it's that they're in a tough division and they just haven't clicked yet. I'd love to see him in a Cubs uniform. I think a lot of you guys would too. I don't know how that would work out, but I think the Blue Jays realize that they have something pretty good there, and they're going to go ahead and try to sign him. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. I think that it's for Gage Workman to stay with the Cubs. I really think that it's 65% chance that they send him back. So that's what, like 35 that he stays. Am I doing the math right? I think that the chances are he's going to go back. And they may regret that. You know, he's showing that he's a pretty good player. But you would hate to kind of look at this guy, target this guy, get this guy, and then not have a spot for him. So I think there's still a chance, and all he can do is just go out there and just keep raking the ball around the yard and put them in a spot where they're like, man, we just can't take that risk. You know, that would be the way that he stays. So like, subscribe, thumbs up. Appreciate all you guys for hanging out here on the Cubs baseball channel. As I talk to you from Vegas, you see the games behind me. I'm doing the whole thing, man. And appreciate you guys for doing your thing here as well. But like, subscribe, comment, and I keep asking you, look at the top corner. It's spinning around our logo. What do you guys want for giveaway swag on the channel? What do you guys want me to make? Do you want hats? Do you want t-shirts? Do you want koozies? We're doing coffee mugs because our friend Aaron said that's what y'all wanted. And he wanted one. I said, okay, we'll put an order in. So we got the order in for the coffee mugs. What else do you guys want? Tell me about it. All right, thanks, guys. We will do it again tomorrow as we get ready for Cubs baseball again, real baseball, not these spring games. And we'll keep on getting you prepared right here on the Cubs baseball channel.